Just do it and understand it. Hello there, I'm Rabbi E, that's short for EDELSTEIN, and this is Rabbi E in 3D video. No podcast this week. I hope to get back to it soon. Just do it and understand it. What am I talking about? Well, I want to share a quick thought with you, and I actually have my clock running, my timer. Rabbi E sometimes doesn't listen to the timer and goes overboard, but we're going to listen to it now because Shabbat is coming. Shabbat. You got to do it to understand it, right? You can read a lot of books about Shabbat. You can see Fiddler on the Roof a million times or whatever and hear about the elevation or the rest or the peace in a Jewish home, the illumination, how great the food tastes. And it really does taste better on Shabbat. You can read all about it, hear all about it. You got to do it to really understand it. I'm sure the same thing goes for skydiving and bungee jumping. Many of you might have done that. I'm not interested, but you can read a 1,000-page book analyzing either one of those experiences. You got to do it to understand it. It's this week's Torah portion, and it's such an important principle in Judaism and in life in general, right? The portion is Mishpatim in the book of Exodus. It's the completion of the narrative about the public revelation at Mount Sinai, the Jewish people getting the 10 commandments. And the Jewish people say, when God says, do you want to be my people? Do you want to keep the Torah that I'm starting to give you now? And I'll continue to, you'll continue to learn more about it. Do you want it? We famously say, as recorded in Mishpatim, this week's Torah portion, Na'aseh v'nishma, we'll do and we'll listen. Shema really means to understand. So we'll do and we'll understand. Don't you, we, I usually understand something before doing it? This is a big discussion. And in fact, a very famous Talmudic passage, there was a non-Jewish person who harassed a Jewish sage, taunted him and said, you impudent, rash people, you put your mouth in front, you said, we'll do, before even knowing the full contents of the Torah. And of course, the rabbi answered back, no, that's the secret of what it means to be a Jew, to have that faith. Okay, so you got to do to understand. First of all, let's understand, not blind faith. The Jewish people had already experienced the loving protection and providence of God. He took them out of Egypt. He destroyed Pharaoh and his armies, and he had already revealed some of the commandments. And they had a tradition from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Moses. So it wasn't blind faith in the moment. Of course, some faith, but not blind faith. Blind faith is if I said to you, I just heard God speak. He gave me 37 commandments, and they all involve, standing on your head. Will you do them now? Yes, I will. That's blind faith, okay? Not with the Torah and being given to the Jewish people. But in any case, when they said we'll do and we'll understand, they're not dissing understanding at all. Judaism is so intellectual. It's so about understanding as much as we can of the mitzvot, of the world, of how God interacts with us, as unfathomable as God's essence is. Understanding is hugely important in Judaism, but the doing of the mitzvot, righteous acts, commandments, it's not predicated on understanding. How can we do that? You can spend your whole life and you never plumb the depths of one mitzvah, the wisdom in one mitzvah. No. So we, of course, all along, beginning, middle, and end, throughout our whole Jewish life of learning and observance, we're always learning in order to understand. But the doing is not predicated on the understanding. And here's the final point. Like we said, you got to do it to understand it. By doing, by the ma'aseh, then the inner meaning of the mitzvah or of Shabbos becomes more apparent, and it really unlocks the key to everything. Do it and understand it. We love understanding, so important. Judaism is not about blind faith. It's about learning and learning. But don't make the doing of the righteous act predicated on your full understanding. It'll never happen. Just do it and understand it. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Great to see you. See me or hear me next time, and vice versa.